Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. My name is Callum, and I'm currently the chair of Glasgow Community Energy. We are going to go through some different pieces of work that we've been doing the last year. And then we're going to be doing our formal AGM, where we talk about the numbers and what we've been spending money on this year, and all that good stuff as well. So here is a picture of our team. So there's 6 people here currently on the board. We've got in the room, we've got Tom over here, me, Callum, got Claire down the front, Ellie, and Joe at the back. So a couple of us are going to be sharing a bit about what we've been doing throughout the last year and what we're planning to do in the next year as well. So I'm going to give you a bit of a wrap of the last year that we've had, and then I think we've got Ellie's going to talk a bit about... it's Joe. Okay, Joe's going to talk a bit about what we're doing next in terms of developing more solar projects. And then Ellie's going to give us a bit of a background on some of the projects that we funded from last year's AGM through our Community Benefit Fund. That's essentially what I've just said there. And then we'll have a little short break between our conversation about what we've been up to, and then we'll go into our AGM. So if you don't want to have anything to do with AGM stuff, please don't feel you have to stay around. If you're interested and you want to hear a bit more about some of the stuff that we've been doing in a bit more detail, then please do stick around for that as well. So who are we? We're a renewable energy cooperative, so formerly a community benefit society, or BENCOM, and our goal is to increase the participation and ownership of energy. So that's quite a broad kind of statement, but our goal is to allow people, communities, to own, operate, and benefit from financially and in terms of the energy that we generate, where things are at the moment. So we, in 2020, installed solar panels on the roofs of 2 Glasgow schools, and we did that through funding from Local Energy Scotland, through some funding from Scottish Power, and through raising shares through what's called a community share offer. And many of you became members through that share offer. We have about 184 members who have essentially invested in the projects and allowed us to build those initial solar panels on those schools. And we've got aspirations to do more of that kind of work. Here's a map of Glasgow where the schools are that we have solar panels on. So in the northeast, we've got Ashton Secondary School. It's a slightly larger system than the one in Glendale, which is in Pollokshields. So these 2 projects, we generate income from the projects by selling the electricity that they generate to the council. That agreement we have with them lasts for 20 years. So that provides a sustainable income source to the energy co-op, which we then put into maintaining the solar systems and providing money that goes into the Community Benefit Fund. We also have an income stream from a government subsidy called the feed-in tariff, which was around back in 2020, just about. And so for all the energy that we generate, we get a small amount of money that comes from the government for that. So nice chart. This is last year, 2024, and you can see that what's essentially being shown here is the amount of energy that we produce over a year. Massively more in the summer than in the winter, as you'd expect. About 98% of our energy that we generated was used by the schools, so very little of it went back to the grid, which is great. Lots of fridges as an equivalent. But yeah, we keep an eye on the systems, make sure they're working correctly, and doing lots of things around that, which I'll go into a bit more detail. So this was some of our volunteers back in April. We went out to Ashton School and we cleaned all the panels. So it's a good opportunity every year that we go out and basically maintain the systems. It's also a great way to get volunteers involved. The last couple of years, we've had a group of students from Leeds University come up for a week and get involved in cleaning solar panels for us, which has been fab. The deal is that they get to ask us difficult questions to help them in their courses, and they clean our panels. So that's been really good. It's also a great way that anybody who is interested in volunteering can come for half a day and scrub some panels. So we're going to be doing that again at the start of April on our other school, Glendale. So if that's something that you really want to do, we're really keen to get people involved in that way. The other stuff that we've been doing, and I've been quite involved in, is we're in the process of developing our 5th off-grid energy hub. So these are systems that aren't connected to the main grid, and they benefit because they weren't able to be connected to the grid because it was really expensive, or it was far away, or they weren't using a lot of energy. So this has been a really interesting and challenging at times learning experience for me, getting involved in doing that. But we are essentially developing a partnership with the University of Strathclyde, who consistently provide us with undergraduate students who are keen to learn about this kind of technology and get some hands-on experience. So it's quite exciting doing that. These different projects have, some of them are in community gardens, some of them are looking at electric bikes and transport. So it's quite a variety of different things going on there. And we're looking to continue to develop and learn on those projects. On the other side, we do about 10 to 15 energy workshops in schools a year. And we, again, depend on volunteers to get involved in those types of projects. It's a pretty similar idea. We bring in solar panels and batteries and different appliances that they might be familiar with at home, and they get to learn about how those things work and connect them all up. And it's a really good way of encouraging them to think about where their energy comes from, and it's a lot of fun. So another opportunity for people to get involved in with that. Lastly, we're looking at developing a new tool, which is an energy workshop for older students, and it's essentially a simulation of our energy system looking forward to 2050. And my background's in energy, and I think it's really cool, and I've come up with along with some other friends, this energy game, and we're hoping to make it into a board game over the next year that can then be used in schools in different places, and it's quite fun to run as well. I've done it with my colleagues a few times, and they've quite enjoyed it. And just a bit more on one of the current off-grid projects that we're building. So it's 24 solar panels, 8 big batteries. I've got a picture in the middle of some of the issues we've had. This was the truck that came in delivering the solar panels and got stuck in the mud. And so we got everything off, but the truck was left for quite some time until they managed to get somebody else to pull them out. So it's been interesting working on that project. I was there just earlier today, and we were getting this first few solar panels connected up to our batteries, which is great. I'm hoping that next week we'll be able to turn some lights on. I'm going to pass over to Joe, who is going to take us through the next part of our presentation.
Let's go.